Good morning, YouTube. It's Mixie Tarot. So, I got a request for a couple of videos. One of the videos, which I'm going to do now, is to do a reading from, to see if some of the past presidents have anything to say about Donald Trump. So, I decided to start with the presidents that we have on Mount Rushmore. So, Theodore Roosevelt, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and George Washington. With that being said, I'm going to get started. We're going to be using the Next World Tarot, New Era Elements, Nature Nurture, and the Guild Tarot. Okay. I'm asking Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln. Ooh, this one had some sparks from it. Abraham Lincoln. I will tell you guys, when I asked before if those presidents would come forward, the ones on Rushmore, the one who was the most anxious to come forward, I shouldn't say anxious, the one that was the bravest to come forward was Abraham Lincoln. The one who was the shyest and seemed pretty neutral and kind of just wasn't sure if he was going to give an opinion was Theodore Roosevelt. So if Theodore Roosevelt doesn't actually want to say anything, I'll probably call on another president. Theodore Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, and Thomas Jefferson, I'm asking you to come forward. I'm asking you to come forward. Bring any messages. For whatever reason, Thomas Jefferson has given me an image of, or is it Theodore Roosevelt? I know that Theodore Roosevelt was, I think it was a naturalist. I think that was the word that they used. And so contributing money to reservoirs and wildlife was really important to him. It was something that he actually did. So if he does come forward and speak about anything, I think it's going to be regarding the climate change, not necessarily Donald Trump. I don't know. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pause for just a moment. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the Guild Tarot. I'm asking sorry. I guess they have a lot to say. I'm going to start with Abraham Lincoln since your energy came through the strongest. President Lincoln, do you have any message you would like to bring forth regarding Donald Trump? Any message you'd like to bring forth regarding Donald Trump and his presidency? Any message? Hmm. So, Abraham Lincoln is saying to me that this is not a victory. Donald Trump's presidency is not a victory for the Republican Party, for the American people, for the United States of America as we know it. The party has changed since I was president. This is the world has changed since I was president. This is Abraham Lincoln. This plan that the Republicans and Donald Trump had in place cannot come to fruition because it is not the direction of what this country, the freedoms that this country should offer all citizens. It is not an idea or a plan to better this country. It is tearing apart every good thing that this country was built on. We planted the seeds for growth to reap the good things that we've sown, and they are simply destroying it. 1 minute. The next card that he speaks about is satiety. He's saying that greed, overindulgence, taking more than what is owed to you, dishonesty, no integrity, disrespect, government, because he's not saying just with Republicans, he's saying government officials. He's saying we had integrity. We had integrity. We didn't treat women, or at least he had respect, more respect for women than Donald Trump did. He feels that government has overindulged. They've bitten off more than is necessary, than they need. They've just overindulged in material things and money, and by any means necessary, they will get what they want. Well, sorry about that. President Lincoln, is there anything else you would like to say? He says, I think that's more than enough for now. Okay. I'm asking Thomas Jefferson. Okay. The strength that the four of us that you've called forward had when we were elected officials to guide this country is completely different than the strength which is seen in the White House today. We tried to exercise our expertise, our strengths in doing the best of our ability to take care of the citizens of the United States of America. This is not happening. What you see in the White House today is not what the president is supposed to be. Delay. What do you mean by delay? I think that what President Jefferson is trying to say is that we will see a delay in the monies in the new I'm sorry, he's saying this is not supposed to be. This goes back to what President Lincoln was saying when he said that government has overindulged. There will be a delay because of greed. they do not want to give any more than this administration. He's not using the word administration. I'm saying that because that's the way I'm interpreting what he's saying. This president and his people who work with him would rather hold on to money than to help those who are in need. This is greed. This is wrong. President Jefferson, thank you for those messages. President Lincoln, thank you. President Jefferson, is there anything else you'd like to bring forth? Yes, this makes sense to me because President Jefferson, the energy that I get from him is very observant. He's very observant, and he takes into consideration tries to take into consideration everything that's laid out in front of him before he makes a decision. This is not what's happening with the White House. These rash decisions, he says, not thought through, not making wise decisions. That's what I'm getting with this card. Thank you, President Jefferson. Is there anything else? He says, let's keep going. Intuition. A wise man also listens to his intuition. I'm not sure that this President Trump has any gut feeling or uses intuition to make right decisions. These decisions that he's making are not rational. He is irrational. He's not a king. He says he's not a king. We did not choose to have a nation run by a king or a queen, a monarchy. We chose democracy in choosing the people being able to choose who their leaders are. Thank you, President Jefferson. He says, this is not going to end well. We got the tower. President Jefferson, not going to end well for whom? That remains to be seen. Okay, so I take that as it might not end well for a lot of people. He says, you have to know that we are watching and we see everything that's going on. President Jefferson, is there anything else you'd like to bring forth? Imagination. With this card, what I'm hearing him say is the same that President Lincoln said, there is no integrity. There is no integrity. This administration is building lies. This is not who we are. Thank you, President Jefferson. Is there anything else you'd like to say? The people must come together. The government must come together and make decisions, wise decisions, decisions based on educated decisions, based on knowledge as well as intuition to help all citizens of the United States. People from all walks of life, All life is valuable. Thank you, President Jefferson. He stepped back. I'm asking Theodore Roosevelt. Theodore, can you come forward? Thank you. President Roosevelt, is there anything, you guys, when he came forward, it's like he's eating some kind of candy and listening to me talk, listening to me ask him if he would answer any questions, and so he's starting to fill his mouth with candy. Okay, thank you, President Roosevelt. President Roosevelt, do you have anything you'd like to say regarding Trump and the administration that's in the White House? Okay, he stepped back, so I guess not. George Washington? President Washington, is there anything you would like to say regarding Donald Trump? Is there anything you'd like to say regarding Donald Trump? Is there anything you'd like to say regarding Donald Trump? President Washington, is there anything you'd like to say? Okay. That's a lot of cards, but I think I might go with it this time. I find nothing about Donald Trump to be inspiring. This is no leader. We had heart. Things are out of control. This government is out of control. President Washington, are you speaking in general or just with Donald Trump? Mostly with Donald Trump. It has spiraled out of control. Okay. Evolution. This spiraling out of control, this corrupt government that's in place now has no choice to, I'm hearing, heal its wounds. The pain, the suffering, the corruption, the greed, the wound has been exposed. It now has no choice but to heal and evolve. Thank you. We see the despair. We see the sadness. We see the fighting. It benefits no one. There is no order. Thank you. Thank you, President Washington. You're welcome. It says you're welcome. President Roosevelt, I'm going to use a different deck with you. I'm going to use the Nature Nurture because you did love nature. Can you bring forth any messages regarding, can you bring forth any messages? Forgiveness. He says we all have a heart. We all have the ability to forgive. Do not think because I will not speak at this moment on the things that Donald Trump as president has done. Do not think that that means I agree with everything that he's done, but because I see everything that is happening. I observe everything that is happening. It is not my place to judge him. We must learn forgiveness. We must learn to forgive. President Roosevelt, thank you for that. Thank you for those wise words. Is there anything else you can bring forth? Anything that you want to say? Anything about what you're seeing? I see the injustices to immigrants who've come to this country. I see it now, and from my perspective, when I was president, and looking forward, and the many generations that have come to this country as immigrants. Immigrants now, in your time, have been wrongfully abused. I see President Roosevelt. He just faded out. And then the other card I got was records, but he just faded out. I sensed a little bit of sadness, so I'm going to stop with that. Okay, hang on a second. Jefferson, do you have anything else you'd like to say? Lincoln, do you have anything else you'd like to say? Washington, do you have anything else you'd like to say? We must learn to take care of each other. That's from Washington. Jefferson, do you have anything to say? Lincoln, do you have anything else to say? President Roosevelt, you faded out. Is there anything else you want to say? When I asked for Roosevelt and got the travel card in reverse, what do you mean by travel? Are you telling me that you're going back to... Yeah, he's done with the reading. Lincoln, is there anything that you would like to say? Okay, I think they're done with these cards. Lincoln, Washington, and Jefferson. Lincoln, Washington, and Jefferson, please give us a message. Give us any messages that you have regarding the Trump administration. Any messages regarding the Trump administration? They're actually telling us to stay confined. I heard stay confined. Stay confined because there are still things that we don't know about the virus. Know that those who were irresponsible in the handling of this virus will face consequences. That doesn't mean just Donald Trump or his administration. Globally. Stay inside. The Knight of Cups, the love song. Love one another. The Messenger. They're telling me that all of the psychics, readers, all of those who have the gift of the third eye, that the woman who will be elected, not elected, who will ride the ticket with Joe Biden is correct. It is correct when they say that she will be of the utmost importance. She is an eloquent speaker. Protect yourselves, protection. They're very concerned about this virus. Know that there are people working behind the scenes in the medical field that are doing their best. They're doing the best that they can to move things forward with a vaccine and antivirals. At this particular moment, we don't know what direction to go in, so it's just better to stay in place. The Queen of Cups, the Throne of Emotion. We see everything that's going on. That's all I'm hearing. Know that this is not the direction that the United States of America was supposed to go in. Whatever the plan was, as we said before, whatever the plan was, it was not in alignment with what this country was built on, the freedoms that this country was built on. It will come to an end, this corruption. As we said before, the wound is open on the greed, the misconduct, the disrespect, the enslavement of people, immigrants. The wound is open. It is now time for that wound to heal and for the country, the people, and the government to evolve. Stay inside. I keep saying stay inside. Stay inside. They're really concerned about us. Don't listen to them. Listen to the medical. Listen to the doctor, the apothecary. Stay inside. This is for the world. A message for the world. The wound is open, and now you can see all of the disparities within that wound. It is time to heal. I keep getting stay inside. That's that they're really concerned about people's safety with this virus. Let me see if there's anything else. So we got abandon. We'll take care of Trump. Home of ideas. The process of evolving from the open wound, the healed wound that evolves. In that healing, new ideas will come forth that will be in alignment with what the direction of this country was supposed to be, what we expected this country to be after we passed on. Know that justice is on your side. We see the injustices that are happening to people, the disparities. Know that justice does exist, and there will be justice for all of the injustices that are happening in the United States of America as well as around the world. I'm going to leave it at that. That's my read for the presidents, I'd like to thank you, President Roosevelt, President Lincoln, President Jefferson, and President Washington for bringing messages forward for us. And maybe we will call on you again. Thank you for your time. God, thank you for allowing us and permitting us to bring forth and allowing me to bring forth any messages for the collective. Please continue to bless and protect us. Mixie Tarot out. YouTube, I almost forgot. There was one last thing that I needed to do regarding Donald Trump, my little bonus with my pendulum. I wanted to find out if Trump is actually the reincarnation of James Buchanan. Angels, is Donald Trump the reincarnation of James Buchanan? Okay, they're saying no. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, angels. Thank you. All right, that's it. Bye-bye.